Over to the United States, where President Donald Trump announced today that Apple will invest an additional $100 billion in the US. This move is part of Apple's broader effort to enhance its supply chain and manufacturing footprint within the US, with plans to create more jobs and bolster its presence. Let's listen in to what he said.
Today, Apple is announcing that it will invest $600 billion, that's with a B, in the United States over the next 4 years. That's $100 billion more than they were originally going to invest. And this is the largest investment Apple has ever made in America and anywhere else. And it's just an honor to have you. As you know, Apple's been an investor in other countries a little bit. I won't say which ones, but a couple. And they're coming home.
However, Trump's goal of having iPhones fully assembled in the United States remains unfulfilled, as Apple CEO Tim Cook confirmed that final assembly will stay overseas for now, despite many components being made domestically. This pledge comes on the heels of Apple's earlier announcement to invest $500 billion and hire 20,000 workers over the next 4 years. While the investment is notable, analysts say it mirrors Apple's usual spending patterns from both the Trump and the Biden administrations. We're now joined by Peter Cardillo, who's a chief market economist. He joins us live from New York. Thank you very much, Peter, for joining us on the program. Peter, how do you analyze this move from Donald Trump? How much benefit will this bring to both the U.S. economy and also Apple as a company?
Well, obviously, this is good news if it goes into full fruition. Obviously, $600 billion over 4 years, that's a lot of money, and that's a lot of creation of new jobs. And it basically falls in line with President Trump's thinking of creating more jobs in the United States, but more importantly, products being made in the United States. Now, whether or not, Apple will bring this to fruition, we have to wait and see. But on the surface, it's certainly good news. And we saw that yesterday with Apple stock that jumped up rather sharply once the...
Much to Donald Trump's disappointment is the unfulfilled goal of having iPhones assembled in the United States. Of course, the majority of them are assembled in China currently. How likely, given the U.S. economy and the costs of manual labor, etc., is this aim of Trump's likely to happen?
Well, I think it could happen, but in honesty, it's difficult. Producing here in the United States, as opposed to foreign countries, that is emerging economies, is much more expensive, and it's rather difficult. But that doesn't mean it can't be obtainable, and it can't mean that you can have a part of it. Will you have a whole production here in the United States? I don't think so. But again, the aim is part of Trump's desire and his political promises that he made. So if it does come to fruition, that's going to be extremely good for the United States. But again, I think it's rather difficult to fulfill it in its entirety because of the cost factors.
Peter, $600 billion, a huge amount of money. However, analysts say that it mirrors Apple's usual spending patterns from both the current administration and the previous Joe Biden administration. What are your thoughts on analysts' statements here that Donald Trump seems to be making a mountain out of a molehill?
Well, I mean, we all know that President Trump sometimes can speak from both sides of his mouth and sometimes exaggerates. And I'm not suggesting that he's exaggerating on this particular statement. But, again, companies make promises. Do they keep them to the fullness of their promises? Uh, that's debatable. We saw that in his first administration, where it really didn't come to fruition. And I suspect that, we just have to wait and see. If Apple does go ahead with it, it's going to be great. Will they? I'm not sure.
Peter Cardillo.